We've returned. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Back to my total drama roots, where this entire obsession of reality TV began. And just a week ago, we received the last batch of episodes from the second season of the Total Drama Reboot. And I'm here to give a review on what this season gave us. Before we start with anything, if you haven't seen the season, you can just look it up on YouTube. Or if you're looking for a video review to watch on the first season, my most viewed video ever on this channel was my review on the first season of this reboot. First of all, I do want to thank anybody that watched that video, or anybody who's watching this video right now. I have a whole line of Total Drama videos ready to be released, so please stick around if you like Total Drama or any form of reality TV, as I don't know what reality TV shows I don't talk about at this point. Regardless, the second season has come and passed, and I have a lot of thoughts on what I just watched over a collective of 2 months or so. A little less, maybe. I'm bad with math. And I think the second season was everything the first season was, but better in almost every way. The characters were more fleshed out. There was a larger focus on the relationships this season than there were last season. The challenges were great again, and I don't know what to tell you. I think they did a really good job and gave us a really good season of Total Drama. But it wasn't perfect. Not by a long shot. There's a certain storyline in this season that I think anybody who has watched this season can guess that made me lose my mind and completely derailed a pretty major character in this rebooted cast. So it's hard to give 100% praise to the season when there is a dud, and I would be lying if I was. And I would be lying if I was giving it 100% praise. It's a misstep, a stain that just won't wash off no matter how many opportunities there were to just end it. I'm getting ahead of myself though, and I will share all of my thoughts in this review. Obviously, there will be spoilers for everything in this season ahead of you, so you've been warned. Let's dive into my review on the second season of the Total Drama Island reboot.
Hey, what's up? I'm here to slay. Don't know why the rest even bother to stay. I wanna be famous.
We're back!
Season 2 started off and felt so much more grand than Season 1. That may be due to knowing these characters. It wasn't about introducing us to this cast of characters like the first season had to spend time focusing solely on that. We already know all these people, except for like Caleb. So this season could give 100% of its time and focus to relationships and how this cast is continuing to interact with each other, which instantly gives the season an advantage over Season 1. But the biggest storylines will be surrounding our main characters last season with Bowie and Julia. Bowie is the biggest threat and target for pretty much everybody in the game aside from Raj, so that will be something he has to deal with. While Julia is actually thriving because of this. She gets none of the heat for all the things she did last season because it's all falling on Bowie, and it actually has a little alliance thing forming with MK. Enemies to allies incoming? Maybe more? Keep an eye on these two. To pick teams, it's a classic schoolyard pick between the two finalists of last season, Bowie and Priya. And I guess now it's officially the first time in Total Drama history we have a canon winner. There is no alternate ending where Bowie wins. Priya is the sole and lone winner of the first season of the reboot, which is kind of cool. As much as I do enjoy the finalists both being considered winners, I like this change the reboot made. Our teams are formed, Team Ratface versus Team Skunkbutt, and the first challenge for immunity is literally red light, green light. Some clear inspiration taken from 2020 and a lot of ideas and challenges this season. The only notable things to take away are that Axel and Ripper have a clear rivalry going on that was started last season, but it's picking up right where it left off. And Nichelle is having herself a redemption arc. After not being able to do anything Season 1, she trained herself and is now a complete beast, single-handedly winning for Team Ratface. And they did Scary Girl dirty. Oh, so dirty. Throwing her to the wayside. And on one hand, I understand it in a season of relationships. Where does she fit into all that? Pretty much nowhere. But they didn't even try with her. She pretended to be normal, but that just creeped everyone out even more, and when she stood up to give her speech to stay in the game, I knew she was done. And she'll always be robbed in my book. Despite now having the worst average placement out of every character in the reboot, that sucks.
I'm going to make them pay!
Episode 2, and we've got some lovin' to deal with. First of all, Priya is swooning over Caleb because, look at him. Well, basically, Caleb is seeing this relationship dynamic with Priya as a way to get an alliance going. I already know I'm going to hate this plot, but I got a lot of it to talk about later on, so I will get to that when it comes up at an appropriate time, because I'm ready for the rant. It's coming. The way more shocking plot point is that Ripper is into Axel? Like, what? I'm not one to kink shame, but we all know what Ripper is into, and good for you, is all I'm gonna say. This challenge is like pipe human basketball. I kind of enjoyed it. Like, way more than the episode 1 challenge for sure, and I'm not exactly sure why I enjoyed it so much. Okay, I should say I did enjoy this challenge until my eyes had to endure watching Ripper covered in butter. I'm emotionally, mentally, and physically scarred after that experience, and you guys will have to join me in that misery. Aside from the temptation to drink bleach every time Ripper shows up on my screen, I was so into this challenge.
I was going to donate my eyes to science, but now they're ruined.
I don't believe in donating.
Oh man, I feel like I'm ruining a romantic moment by being here.
What? He's counting the bear?
That is until we get to the conclusion of it. With the score close, coming down to the final few people, Millie sees an opportunity to win. By manipulating Damien, who's terrified of this challenge and damn near everything, and pushing him down this special 4-point pipe, which, by the way, is not supposed to be a thing. It's just there because Chris loves pain. People aren't even supposed to survive going down that pipe. However, because of this terrible act, Team Ratface actually wins. Obviously, though, everyone is really pissed off at Millie, and rightfully so. Fuck Millie, that's a horrible thing to do. I'm gonna get my Millie steam off right now. I was skeptical in season 1 with how I felt about Millie because she was a big part of the season, but I didn't care about her much at all. It was all Priya in that duo, and I've realized in the second season that Millie is one of the worst characters in this reboot, purely because she is so poorly written, and I don't think the producers knew what to do with her. In season 1, her entire story arc was to build up Priya, give Priya something to do, considering, she's gonna win. But I didn't care for Millie. Nobody genuinely thought Millie was gonna win despite making Final 3. And then we get to this season, and I can at least respect them for trying something with Millie, making her public enemy number 1 and seeing how she maneuvers afterwards. But at the same time, this arc or storyline isn't satisfying in the slightest. But I'll get to that into the next episode. I just don't enjoy much of anything that involves Millie in either season, aside from a couple of funny confessionals or just things that she says, but I don't want to say a waste of space because that's really mean, but she's kind of a waste of space. But yeah, Chase gets the boot because he was completely useless in the challenge and this season as a whole. I think it was a great idea to boot Chase this early. If he's not going to have a storyline with Emma, he's just annoying and not fun to watch at all. And we already went through way too much of the Emma and Chase storyline last season, so he can go.
I'm gonna butter this one up before I eat it.
Oh my God, that's disgusting. Okay, maybe Ripper should have gone. That was vile. Episode 3 picks right back off with everything that happened in episode 2. Millie's an outcast and everyone hates her. Yay. With Team Skunk Butt, they kinda really suck at these challenges, so MK will come up with a master plan to help them win. By cheating. Simply pose as an intern so she can get intel on the challenge that's coming up and relay all of that information back to her team. And this challenge is a race through the island while covered in sap. And because she cheated, MK comes in clutch, leading her team to a shortcut and getting some sap remover to make this challenge a lot easier. And can I say this? Is this a safe space? I love Wayne and Raj so much. Like, they're top tier characters in so many ways.
Sap remover just like lying in the middle of your shortcut? That's so lucky! But cheating is wrong!
The only other relevant thing that happens this episode is that Damien and Millie have a chance to talk after, Damien almost died because of Millie. But then Damien instantly forgives her, which, we love Damien and he's a great guy, so I get it. But that's not exactly the ending I wanted, for everything to just get resolved so quickly. Okay, that's the ending I wanted. Regardless, Caleb just missed out on winning immunity, and Skunkbutt actually won a challenge. We stan Z and his baby raccoon, it's the most adorable thing ever, but thankfully, Millie goes home in a 5-3 vote. Like I said last episode, she was not bringing a storyline that was interesting to me at all, and I'm glad we're gonna give time for other players to shine for once because she literally made Final 3, and I don't think she should have gotten that far, so third boot, thank you. Beep Beep, episode 4 has one of my favorite challenges in a while. I really love this one. It's a trivia question challenge based on would you rather questions the contestants were asked before the season started. The star of this episode is by far Emma, who is an apparent people person, but she's not very good at it.
It's B! There is no way Bowie would dress like a clown.
Okay, she kind of sucks at it.
A! Nichelle, it's for sure A!
Alright, she really sucks at it. Holy shit, she's terrible. Get her off the stage. Love MK so much. She's a natural at cheating, and I'm really glad MK has more to do this season because one of my biggest complaints last season is that MK was pretty one note and didn't have much of anything going on.
No skeletons in my closet.
I miss that weirdo.
Me too, Chris. Me too. One of the only positive things I will say about this duo of Priya and Caleb all season is I really enjoy Priya crushing over Caleb while he's completely clueless and just wants to make a good alliance. It's so obvious what this is going to lead to, and I will have my thoughts. I feel like I'm going to be repeating myself a lot about it because there will be a point I can talk about this in depth. But now is just not the time because you need the full storyline. We need to get through everything that's going to happen because it's annoying. But I can be naive for now and enjoy Caleb being a little silly. The challenge is basically Team Skunkbutt cheating to keep on advancing, while Team Ratface is quite literally doing the opposite of everything Emma is saying. And of course it's working because of course it would. After some chaos, blah blah blah, it all comes down to Emma and the last question for the win. A question about Chase. The one person that she should know. And of course, everybody and their mother tells her to go to the opposite of what her gut says. This time, and this time only, her gut was right, and they lose the challenge because she didn't listen to her gut. And then they vote out Emma? What? I'm sorry, I call bullshit. First of all, Priya and whoever else voted out Emma, you guys would have gotten blown out in this challenge if it wasn't for Emma. And you guys are the reason you lost the challenge, not Emma. Emma would have won the challenge if you didn't manipulate her to not trust her gut this one time. So no, you don't get to turn around and vote out Emma because you needed to vote out Emma. Why Emma? She did nothing wrong. Justice for Emma, please and thank you. It's some bullshit. But that's not even where the episode ends. Ripper has been planning a way to ask out Axel all episode because, like I said, he's crushing on her. And at the very end, he writes a poem for her, and they kiss. So they're now a thing, and both of their characters become completely useless from now on. I just don't understand. If you needed 2 filler characters, fine. Axel and Ripper aren't bringing much. Neither of them are probably going to win this game. But making them just literally useless. Any potential Axel have, gone. Any of the jokes Ripper was doing this whole time, gone. Both of their characters are now subjected to sucking face the rest of the season. I'm not even joking. The rest of the season, they do nothing but be together in the same frame and suck face. And it's stupid. I just don't get it. It's really lazy. There's a lot of other characters to go on, but there's another ship on this season that has a pretty awful storyline. So you could have maybe toned it down a little bit on that ship and given maybe some more depth to these two, or at least give them something else besides just being together. Producers, this is a really bad look because, like, I enjoy a lot of what the reboot does, but sometimes they just get caught in their storylines and some of them really suck, and this is one of them. Episode 5 is a weird episode that is completely carried by Team Skunkbutt because Team Skunkbutt has all the icons on it. Other people exist too, I guess. So for 1 second, aside from Ripper and Axel sucking face and only sucking face, can we talk about Z and the pillow?
I just killed Priya's pillow boyfriend!
But yeah, so Z now knows Priya has a crush on Caleb, but he's got a big mouth, so you know, zip it up, Z. Okay, yay, now we can talk about Skunkbutt. That sounds wrong out of context. Damn it. Most of the plot can be summarized by this cheating storyline, where Julia and MK obviously would love to cheat, and Wayne and Raj obviously hate the fact that their team is cheating, while Bowie sits in the middle. He would like to cheat and wants that advantage, but his boyfriend hates that he's cheating. So it's all about deciding what's more important to him. And after Wayne and Raj catch MK and Julia cheating again,
Whoa! A straight line? I always thought mazes were harder.
Bowie joins up with the duo and they try to stop this cheating business once and for all. And in a nail biter, Team Skunk Butt wins the challenge and all of my faves are safe. And Ripper. Right when we get to elimination, we saw Nichelle found something, and it turns out she's gotten booked to a new Hollywood deal, and Hollywood is greater than total drama in her eyes, so she's out of here with no remorse. See ya. It would be such a shame if we had a villain on this season that made a fake contract to get one of the strongest competitors of the season out of the game this early. Yeah, I'm sure you can tell what happened. Julia completely bamboozled Nichelle, and Nichelle has left the game for pretty much no reason. People don't like what they did to end Nichelle's character this season, but I don't exactly agree. The biggest issue is that I think they kind of put her in a hole due to how she was portrayed in season 1. She had no substance and was one of the biggest wasted potential characters ever. But they actually gave her something here, being a complete beast in every challenge. But in a season filled with relationships, and her not even talking to anybody, she had no spot on this season and could not make it far unless they wanted to give her a connection. Yes, it sucked, but there are other characters I like more than Nichelle, and I'm glad they got their time to develop and shine. Episode 6, and it's the merge. The only issue is that this episode in particularly is fun, but doesn't do anything to boost up any pre-existing storylines except for one of them. One very awful storyline. Because Caleb actually tells Z he doesn't have a crush on Priya, and it's just purely for an alliance. We all know where this is going. Because Z sees Caleb is playing with Priya, and Priya is gonna get hurt. All while at the same time, Caleb is slowly developing feelings for Priya, and just shut up. Oh my god, I'm already tired of this, and it hasn't even happened yet. I don't enjoy talking about it. I will not be talking about it for the rest of this episode, god damn it. The fun things to talk about are that Chris has now hidden an immunity idol somewhere on camp, and Chris knows MK has been cheating, exposes her for cheating, and basically torments her all episode.
Thankfully, my helmet prevents me from sustaining brain damage.
And aside from that, Damien takes down Bowie to win first immunity. Julia finally gets her revenge on Bowie, rallying the troops to save MK and take Bowie out. And yeah, Bowie just made it to the final 2 and was the biggest threat and the main character of last season. It would have been unrealistic if he made a deep run again. Unfortunately, the writers decided to be unrealistic with another one of the finalists, but again, I promise you, that is coming soon. The episode is fine, if anything, but a little boring. Episode 7 is the biggest filler episode to ever filler episode, so they can just get rid of 2 people in one fell swoop. Luckily for us, we do not have to talk about that situationship I will not name, and can talk about MK and Julia? Y'all seeing this tension, right? I'm not crazy. I'm not delusional. This is real. They're gonna be canon, right? My head is spinning right now, but Damien found the immunity idol. King shit. Hell yeah. And then Owen's back for the challenge? What is going on right now? The challenge is a bake-off in 3 separate teams for immunity, and it's not that interesting of a challenge.
I got the flower!
Madness?
This is drama!
Oh shit, okay. Anyways, the challenge really doesn't matter to me, and Raj, Wayne, and Julia are safe. And at the vote, they take out Axel because she's only been making out with Ripper for 3 straight episodes. And then Ripper tags along and gets himself eliminated too. Yeah, that's the end of their storyline. This episode just kind of sucks. If it wasn't for Julia, Wayne, and Raj, who knows where this could be. It could be an all-time bad episode. The worst of the season so far. A lot to talk about in our next episode here. And we'll start off with Damien, one of my favorite characters that I wish got more screen time because he's amazing. He got an anonymous letter from somebody saying they know he has the idol, which freaks him out so bad, but in reality, it was just Julia, who sent out the same letter to everybody because she thought it would be pretty funny. On the other side of the coin, Z is trying everything he can to not leak the Caleb and Priya secret. But when MK and Julia realize he's got a secret, they're going to do everything in their power to get him to spill the beans. I want to stop down, and before I get into this mess between Priya and Caleb, this tension between MK and Julia is eating me alive, and I have some thoughts. If you've been anywhere online with Total Drama Discourse, there are talks about people shipping MK and Julia, and they need to be canon, and their ship name is MK Julia or some shit. And I agree to an extent. I love these two together. It gives both of them more depth as characters, seeing MK interacting and enjoying being around somebody, and Julia isn't always scheming to destroy somebody's life. At the same time, they both aren't losing what makes them both great characters, because they still go back and forth from time to time. So if we do get a season 3 with this reboot cast, I would be very happy with MK and Julia becoming canon, or staying best friends. Either option is good, and I won't be devastated either way, no matter how much I can be dramatic and talking about me shipping them. I think they are a great duo together, no matter what form of a duo they are, as long as they don't break them up. That is the only option that sucks. I love this duo. The other duo, they really, really piss me off. I swear, I've never felt so much hatred and disdain for a couple or a showmance or whatever you want to call it than I have for Priya and Caleb. It's just an annoying dynamic, and the worst part about it is that I enjoy both of them as characters individually. But you put them together when they're being lovey-dovey, and it's by far the worst thing I've seen in 2 seasons on the reboot. And that's including a season-long arc of Emma and Chase, and watching Ripper and Axel exist just a few episodes before this. Why do all the straight couples in this show suck? Oh my god. Yeah, obviously after an episode of almost kissing, they finally do kiss. And that is when Z takes the opportunity to quote-unquote save Priya from heartbreak and spills everything. And I mean everything. Not just that Caleb told him he was using Priya for an alliance, but then goes on to tell everybody's secrets to each other. So yeah, that's the writer's excuse to send Z home over Caleb, which they do indeed do. And I'm not mad at Z going home over Caleb here. Z's arc is done. There is nothing else he could bring to the show aside from being Z. I will miss Z's presence, as I always enjoyed everything he said on the season, but it's a worthy sacrifice to at least give somewhat of an interesting arc with Priya and Caleb. Hopefully they don't ruin it. Stan Damien, though, for moving his log away from Caleb. That's some king shit. Oh, brother, we gotta deal with an entire episode of Priya and Caleb. Oh my gosh, aren't we so lucky? I just want to hit myself time after time after time. Priya is pissed off at Caleb all episode, while Caleb is going to spend the entire episode trying to win immunity and get a chance to talk to Priya. Aren't I a psychic? Because that's exactly what he does all damn episode.
The thing is... Did you know that tree was coming?
It's actually insane how much more likable Priya instantly gets when she's not swooning over Caleb. Oh my god, who would have thunk it? Whatever, the challenge has the contestants bring the biggest item they can on the island. Nothing off limits. While MK grabs a car and Caleb grabs a yacht, Damien grabs this adorable little sheep named Chester. Aw, that's cute. Turns out the actual challenge is to break down your item and put it through a door hole. Caleb obviously wins immunity because, duh, literally nobody is shocked like this. The biggest threat in the game wins immunity before he could close his arc with Priya. And the fun part of the episode comes at the very end. With the group target safe, it's pretty obvious one of Julia or MK is going home, and they make a deal to not backstab each other to honor their alliance. But MK instantly throws Julia under the bus, like, duh, but MK is still the one that's sent home. That's because Julia told everybody that her and MK made a deal to not talk bad on each other. So when MK did all of this to Julia and talked bad in front of everyone, it makes her look worse, and they voted her out because of it. And I'm happy MK made a somewhat deep run here. There was so many more positives to MK's character this season than in season 1, and I think MK has the potential to do a lot more in a future season. But only time will tell, and MK and Julia end with a hug. That's cute. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Episode 10. One of my least favorite episodes of the season because I think the writers are actually really stupid, I fear. And this will be the episode I can fully and finally flesh out this Priya and Caleb relationship arc, because it should have ended this episode, and there is no justified reason why it didn't. But we have an episode to break down before that dreadful moment. Of course, we have to start with Caleb and Priya, with Julia trying to save us from torment, telling both of them to stay away from each other and let each other come to them, so they won't get back together and form a power couple. The challenge is just memory and matching things together with a lot of pain, as is pretty much every challenge in Total Drama. I love the side beef Damien and Julia have with each other, but my love for watching this episode is short-lived as Caleb and Priya stop taking Julia's advice and they talk about their feelings and make up and make out. Oh no, oh god, their powers combined, they become insufferable again. Quick, Wayne and Raj, save us.
We got a shot!
Not you two, so you're out.
At least we did our best.
No, we're stuck with these two ganging up against Julia for immunity. And they are so unlikable. But nobody gonna fuck with a girl boss icon and get away with it, as Julia tricks them both and wins immunity. Fuck that couple up, Julia. Period. I've never been more satisfied with an immunity win than I have right here. Hell yeah. However, there's a twist where Julia gets to give somebody else that immunity as well. And at the ceremony, it's revealed that Julia gave Caleb immunity in exchange for him telling her he will vote however she wants for the rest of the season. So, like, obviously Priya's going home right now. They got back together. Everything is happy. We can move on.
Priya!
We're so sorry, bro!
What are you talking about? Yeah, surprise, surprise. Damien's idol gets stolen by somebody and he gets completely hosed. And now I can dish out all my dirty laundry about this fucking couple. There has never been a more perfect spot for a storyline to end than right now. First of all, Priya has already won, so you know she's not winning again. So why in the fuck did Priya make it so far in this season? Sure, give her the awful Caleb storyline, but as much as I trash on the storyline, I actually think this episode did a good job ending that storyline. After so much turmoil and the will they won't they stuck the landing. They got together, they're happy together. So send Priya home and make Caleb's arc for the rest of the season to be to avenge her and take down Julia. Instead, the producers take out Damien, who was completely screwed over and did not have a satisfying conclusion to his story. And keep in this couple again and add this bullshit storyline intertwined with Julia that just completely derails these two as characters. Especially Priya, who becomes one of the most unlikable characters in total drama history after this episode. Which could have all been avoided if you just got rid of her. Just make Julia versus Damien the feud moving forward, and Caleb can still have his arc with whether or not to betray Julia's deal. Look at that total drama. I fixed one of the worst storylines in your show's history just like that. I've been talking about how bad the storyline of these two together is the whole season, but that is with the context that I know it just becomes awful after this episode. If it ended right here, it would be bad, yes, but it wouldn't be the worst storyline in total drama. It's mind-blowing how badly they fucked this up to get rid of so many great characters over Priya because they needed to just ruin this storyline and make us watch them and nobody else. Terrible writing, and in a season that I enjoy very much. The only complaint I have throughout the entire season is this storyline, which is our main storyline to follow. God, these people are so dumb. Damien was robbed. Let's move to episode 11. I think I've earned my chance to only say one sentence about these two in this episode. Priya is mad at Caleb again. They agree to form an alliance. They like each other again. The end. Okay, rest of the episode. MacArthur is back and the challenge is a game of hide and seek, or tag, or something. I don't know, but it's with some crazy dogs. And there was a lot of fun this episode. Mostly from Wayne, Raj, and Julia. And Julia, Queen, wins immunity again. And tries to pitch to Wayne and Raj to vote out Priya with her. But, the moose has spoken.
Queen is for Priya, Moose is for Caleb.
So it's plan B time. Get Caleb and Priya to vote off Raj. And it works. Raj goes home, unfortunately. And Wayne is crushed. The hockey bros are split up for the first time ever. And I am excited to see where we go on from here as we reach our final four.
Why are you still here?
I don't know.
The penultimate episode of Total Drama the Reboot keeps showing us why Caleb and Priya suck together because they are extremely toxic. Caleb is a nice guy but an awful boyfriend. And Priya clearly should not have a boyfriend because she's a terrible girlfriend. And then there's Wayne.
Don't know what to say, don't know what to do.
Like, come on, that's adorable. I love that guy. At the challenge where you have to hook other players to win, Julia actually breaks through to Caleb and gets him to backstab Priya, which was pretty awesome, because fuck Priya. And I think this challenge was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the dynamics going on when we aren't shown so much of Priya and Caleb together, and we get to see them both compete and think through strategy as individuals. At least Caleb gets to do that. And Wayne is also there.
Julia's really off her game today. I am carrying this team. At least I get to hang with Raji the bear again. Ah! There. dates are covered. Chris can be a hoser sometimes.
I ship Wayne and that intern, by the way. But in the end, when Caleb is forced to choose between his word he gave to Julia and his girlfriend, he decides fuck them both and decides to knock them both out to win immunity for himself. The vote is pretty obvious as Julia gets taken out, like, duh. But Miss Girl has the immunity idol, so she's safe. And because all three of the other campers voted for her, whoever she voted for is gone. And Priya is sent out the door. Fucking finally, and fucking obviously. She wasn't making the finale again because she wasn't winning again. And I can never think about her again. What a terrible ride for Priya this season. Such a derailment of a character that was so unnecessary if they just sent her home. But whatever. I'm actually really excited to talk about this finale, so we gotta get to it. We're at the finale and there's no more Priya and Caleb. I'm so happy.
The eliminated campers are back to help you with the next challenge.
Oh, come on. Whatever. The returning players get to choose which team they want to support. Caleb's teammates just want Julia to lose. I love Team Wayne.
Wayne!
And Team Julia is just MK. But they're so cute together. But, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but we seem to be missing somebody. Somebody quite iconic. Any personal fan favorite of mine?
Got chilly all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, baby. Scary Girl is here and she delivers this episode.
Said I couldn't be on a team because I don't play well with others. That hurt. Can she? Oh, boo. Cannon says no. Caleb and Julia crashing through a tree. Rock, crack, thud, pain. Ouchie, ouchie.
How do people hate her? Seriously, just appreciate her in this one episode. It made me love her so much more and makes me so sad we couldn't get more iconic clips. But like, I adore this finale so much. It's literally every character at their best. No bad moments, no icky moments, just me being able to enjoy this cast, which I think is a really good cast. It could easily be my favorite finale in the show's history, and wouldn't shock me one bit if it was. The finale is a race between the final three to the Dock of Shame, going through 3 different stages, and just everything works. It's a tight race until the dinosaur that Julia has been beefing with over the course of 2 seasons gave her a mullet. A mullet. It's a tight race between Julia and Caleb, which was a really fun dynamic all episode, with Julia using Caleb's niceness to her advantage. But Wayne comes out of nowhere at the end and we got a nail-biting finish on our hands. The winner of Total Drama.
Wayne wins!
Wayne wins! Wayne wins! Wayne wins! I'll get to Wayne in a second, but I do want to wrap up Caleb and Julia before we get there. I'll start with Caleb, who's obviously a massive character on this season, and one I had a lot of complaints about. But all my complaints about Caleb were when he was with Priya. He was the character we knew nothing about in season 1. Barely said anything and was gone just like that. But this season, they made him a main character. And I think he had some good moments, but a lot of the time, he was also just kind of there. I don't think he was built for main character energy, and especially when you tie him up with Priya, it turns into a net negative at the end of the season. Julia. She's done it. She's cemented herself as one of the greatest characters in all of Total Drama. After the first season, we all knew she was the big bad. She was the antagonist running things in the second half of the season. But this season did that and gave her the role of antagonist, but in a much smoother and cleaner way altogether. It wasn't a cartoonish villain like Mal or an unrealistic reign of torment like Heather in season 1. This was a genuine villain talking her trash in the diary room while playing a masterful game in person, where everybody still knew she was bad, but she made that work in her favor and was a joy to watch all 13 episodes. If I did have to pick somebody to win the season, I probably would have picked Julia because I think that was her shot. She probably will not make it to the end again and will probably not win, which is a shame because of how iconic she is. But she was a star all season long, the brightest of bright spots and an icon of Total Drama. And our winner is Wayne, of all people. Just from assumptions, you could have guessed the guy would have won this season considering Priya won season 1. Or maybe not because of that weird double male finale they did in Revenge of the Island. Regardless, of all the candidates to win, it was Wayne, which blows my mind, but I'm really happy it happened at the same time. My enjoyment of the Hockey Bros season 1 felt like a hot take because they were just the jocks who were comic relief most of the time until Raj got his own storyline with Bowie and then became his own character. And in this season, I did have a gut feeling one of the Hockey Bros would make it far. I was convinced it was going to be Raj. The storyline was already there and it would have been a really fun ending to see Raj potentially win. But instead they went with Wayne as the lone Hockey Bro to carve out his own storyline. How did I not think of this? It's really good. Did he do anything spectacular or interesting during the season? No. So I understand the dislike for this guy of all people winning, but it's a fun ending, a likable winner, and sometimes you need a goofball to take the crown. Why do you think Total Drama Island was so successful? Owen winning was a massive part of that. Wayne is a good winner for this new generation of Total Drama. And I can finally wrap up my review of this season.
Well, hopefully we can change that on the next season of...
Oh no, another season? Wiping the sweat away after that one. I was a little silly and not fully prepared. I had to watch the last batch of episodes, write a script, record myself, edit the audio, add the visuals, and patch the video together in a week's time. But I had fun with it. I have been eager to talk more Total Drama, and you will be fed. Just to tease what's coming up, we have another player ranking coming up that I will update my original list I did after season 1 of the reboot and see how these two compared and what characters I thought were better or worse after another 13 episodes. And then after that, we have a lovely series I started on my channel that went on a little bit of a hiatus, but is coming back in full swing, baby. I got a lot of work on my hands for those sets of videos, but after that series is done, the floodgates are open for me to make videos on anything I want to talk about Total Drama related. So I'm excited for that, and I hope you are too. That's going to do it for me. Subscribe, follow me on Twitter, do all that if you enjoy this. If you made it to the end of the video, I love you. Platonically, of course. And I will undoubtedly see ya when I see ya. Bye-bye.